Alright, so you're about to see, I believe, day 22 or day 23. Pretty good workout today. It was chest and a little bit of ancillary other stuff. There was some shoulder presses. On the whole, it was a pretty good workout for a Monday. Good comeback from the weekend of mostly relaxing. I look forward to doing this again tomorrow, and as I note, during the course of this workout, energy is pretty good, burnout's pretty low, and I feel like I'm kind of in the groove, so hopefully the universe doesn't come along and kick me in the nuts. Anyway, that's that. Stick around, plus dating tips with a geezer. I'll talk to you later. See you tomorrow. Hello, happy Monday, day 22, I think. I'm always a couple days off. And what are we doing today? Well, zooming in a little bit. We are doing chest today. Let's go to about 35 mil, that seems about right. Cut my head off now that you've seen it once, you don't have to see it more than once. And today we are doing flat incline and decline benches, flat incline and decline flies, or wings as I call them, a seated shoulder press, and dumbbell pullover. And that's going to kind of work it for today. Brief status report as well. I mean, the 22nd day shouldn't be really too phenomenal, but I've been feeling like I'm filling my shirts out a little bit more, kind of perhaps having a little bit more energy during the day, feeling a little bit better with life. So obviously this is working, even if it's not a perfect setup, even if it's not a perfect regime. It seems to be quite good for my purposes. It continues to be treating me well, so there's that. So that's it. We're doing good. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start with the incline benches. And I think, as noted the last time, what I'm going to end up doing is bringing myself down from that 85%. We're just going to do 30, 35. And I'm going to end up doing a drop set at the end just to kind of shake things up a bit. My watch is telling me I need to start working out, so I'll start working out. Good weekend too. Went to the car show, saw an old friend. All good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Favorite toy ever for the kid. Okay. Second set's going to be 40 because 35 didn't really stress me out, so we'll see if I've got a little more ego in me. Fun fact, I've never actually watched any of the uploads I've made. I don't know if I ever will, probably not. I know I'm supposed to embrace being cringe, but that doesn't mean I have to expose myself to it. Okay. That'll do. I'm stuck with a really shitty music mix right now. I'm going to get up and change that really quick before I continue. Yeah, vaporwave has its purposes, but not during lifting. So, Oh, gut's getting smaller too. Can't complain about that. Well, let's do you, and let's shuffle play. Oh, there we go. Very good. One more set of those, and I think we'll be all taken care of. We're working on it, slowly but surely. I think once I plateau, I'm going to have to start throwing in some cardio. To that side, there's a really nice exercise bike that I purchased and could barely get up a set of stairs. And it's good for spinning, gets the heart rate going. And yeah, it's easier to cut than it is to build muscle, so I'll save that for later. All right, up we go. So 40 seems to be pretty good for those. So what I'm going to do is mark that down, write that down, write that down. And then we will move on to the flats and see how we do with those. Dearly departed. Lost another employee today. That's his access badge. I didn't hire him, and he fired himself, so can't really say too much about that. Okay. I'm wondering if I should call my ex. They loved me more than life itself. I always had a fear of commitment. It would be nice to have them back one last time. Plus, I really need my fucking keys. Those things cost like $120 to replace. Okay, there we go. Alright, so 40 seems good on the flats as well. So that's good. Going to give it about 30 seconds and then we'll continue. We are 6 minutes into the workout as of right now. I know 2 months from now, I'm going to look at these weights and laugh. And that's when complacency is going to bite me. So I'll be like, oh, 55, easy to branch, no problem. And then I'll stop working out every day. And a year from now, I'll be lifting 40s again and thinking, wow, this is really hard to do. With absolutely no self-reflection about why I'm back in the situation I am today with a lack of maintenance. Human nature is amazing. And it's also largely predictable, thanks to us having iterated trillions of times by now. Brilliant. people have been born and died since we started being people? It makes you think. All right, another 30 seconds. We'll catch our third set of these and then maybe do a drop set just to kind of shake things up. So this is also week 2 of me trying iPhone. Usually I'm on a Samsung Galaxy. Yeah, the two operating systems have more convergence than you might expect, but some things are vastly different. If you've never played in both, you might not know what I mean. But Samsung is just like, it lets you do stuff, man. Or when you can't do stuff, it's pretty clearly explained. That's a lie. Why did I even say that? Also, the guardrails are less apparent on Samsung. And usually it's self-explanatory as to why you can't go a certain direction. With Apple, guardrails is all you have. And the reason is they're protecting the user experience for their, hundreds of billions or potentially billions of distributed devices and the experience for those billions of people. So they keep things real simple. It's the same reason that a teenager can pick up an iPhone and my 70-year-old uncle can pick up an iPhone and have a mostly similar and good experience. Familiarity. Stasis. And I find that some part of that is good, but there are frustrations that make me want to just smash the phone. Watch is super good. And the ecosystem is really sticky. So for work, I put all my notes in my iPad, and then I can pull it up on my phone, so I don't have to pull up my iPad to reference where I should be in my day. I can't really do that on Samsung, not the least of which is because there's no cheap, small iPad mini-sized, stylus-enabled Samsung tablet, and also because the Notes applications don't really jive. I'd have to use OneNote, which is fine, but it's super data heavy. And the other thing is that on Samsung, there's no cellular-enabled tablets here that have a stylus. Not in Canada. So there's some pain points that keep me in the ecosystem. Working up a good sweat, more than I've sweated in quite a while. Very good, okay. So the drop set goes 30. The main set is 40, which works very well. I think I could have probably done a 35. So what I'm going to do for the declines, because I'm better than typical leader and I want to get a good form on them without injuring myself, is I'm going to move up to 35. And the last set will be a drop to either 30 or 25. We are 11 minutes into the workout now, which means we should be recording for about 15. Let me just check that. 13. All right, good. How is the video quality, by the way? If anybody actually watches this, please let me know. Because I don't really watch a lot of talking head content, or talking torso content, because my head really isn't visible a lot of the time. Okay. Sorry. Give me my workout back. Where did you go? Wow, okay. Alright. These the same weight? Yes, they are. I've also halved what I eat for dinner, as discussed in day 20 or 21. I've been eating like meatloaf forever because it's very easy to cook and it's decent nutritionally. but I'm eating like 350 grams, 400 grams of meatloaf, then a big swack of potatoes. And I think that's what's contributing to this little belly of mine. So I've gone down to about 150 grams of beef and less starches. And I've also replaced the ice cream with frozen fruit. That seems to be a pretty good match. Alright, left shoulder start in an odd sort of way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off, do the bench move and go down to 25 early and try and push through on those sets. Can't tell you why it's hurting, but I can tell you it is. Right back here. That's alright, I'll live. Heart rate 98, if it matters. Okay, form. Good. I get the sense that my back and shoulders are going to start to fail me more as I age. Also potentially get a little bit of arthritis in the hands, but this shit that happens far too often sucks. Oh well. I'll be a 65 or 70-year-old with a stiff neck and back walking around like a toy soldier. I know this because I'm already like that. You know, sort of an alarming trend is that my nails have been getting very brittle. I'm starting to break them on a regular basis, and I couldn't tell you why. Nothing else has much changed. Nutrition has been pretty constant for a while. But yeah, I'm starting to crack these bad boys on a regular basis. Weird. Alright. Is that an age thing? So we're 16 minutes in. I believe I'm going to do another set of these anyway, just to kind of shake things up. And then we will move on to the dumbbell pullover and shoulder press, followed by our lightweight wings. And again, 16 minutes in. Pretty good. That's 40 for you. 25 is easy, so I'm going to put 30 for what I was supposed to be lifting today. 40 is just way too much, 35 also. It's amazing how 5 pounds can make all the difference in the world. Just like dating. Alright, yep. Okay, one more. Oddly, as well, in the last month or so, I've been certainly seeming to be more attractive to women, which is unusual. I'm 40, I've never had a dating relationship with a woman. My ex was not, so there we go. But that's neither here nor there. Sexual preference as a result of abuse in childhood is probably a thing that nobody wants to admit is the case. when you get fucked around with, you go with what you know. I don't perpetuate things. So anyway, women and I have not really ever gotten along. It seems my options are opening as I start to get more fit. And at least seem mature, so that's good. Okay, dumbbell pullover is next. We're 18 minutes into the workout now. I'm just gonna grab some water, I'll be right back. One other thing about Apple, especially iOS 18.4, 18.5, super buggy, super glitchy. It stops playing things, it disconnects from Wi-Fi, Face ID glitches out, input glitches out. Battery life is sometimes inconsistent. I mean, good lord, the alarms don't work all the time. Like, Apple. Speaking of that consistent customer experience, the one that allows billions of users to use your product, why are you fucking this up? You got one job, Tim. Just one. Give me a good phone. Otherwise I'm going back to Samsung. Because while it's a little trippy, and it isn't quite as user intuitive, it ain't doing all the shit your latest iOS is doing. And don't even get me started on Apple Intelligence. Fucking garbage. Anyway, I have opinions. Alright, according to my calculations, I should be doing 45 pounds in the dumbbell pull-up. I'm going to try that. Let's see how we do. Alright. The problem with women, for me, not women in general, but my problem with my interaction with them, is it's always based on fear. Because my home life with the women in my life at that time is pretty bad. So a lot of my actions are to be performatively a certain way for women. And I get really freaked out when I get touched. So, well, you can cut between the lines on that one. So, the two important things for women, that being emotional availability and stability, and physical intimacy, are things I can't really provide, which doesn't bode well. I think my bloodline dies with me. I also refuse to use prostitutes. I think that's just disgusting and terrible for everybody involved. So, whatever's left is whatever's left. Okay, 45 is a bit too much. I'm going to jump down to 35, see how we do with that. Again, I just want to control this and still be able to use my back tomorrow, so I'm doing all right. I am still working up a sweat too, which is great. If I could rewind to 16 again and just tell myself, hey, it's going to be okay. Take all the chances you want to take because you got time. I think I'd have probably turned out a little bit better. At least in the romance department. Last time only goes one direction. That's forward. And the time I have left is sparse, growing more sparse every day. Third set. It's nice to talk. I don't have to pay a therapist if I could just yell at the camera. 30 is, or 35 is really the right weight for these, so I'm going to continue with that. Good stretch. Okay. How different life could have been. All right, one more. What would it take for me to take a chance? That's a question I ask myself more frequently as of late. What would the reward be, and how sure would that reward have to be for me to take a leap of faith? Now, I don't have an answer to that question today, but I'm going to try and have an answer eventually. Being trapped in a familiar hell is sometimes irrationally more preferable than being dragged towards an unfamiliar heaven. When I sold my house that I shouldn't have bought and that let me down for more than a decade, I had to look at that and I said, you know, this is a familiar hell. And I had to talk myself into choosing an unfamiliar heaven. Risk and reward, right? And it worked out okay. Should I use that as the benchmark for future expectations? Don't know, man. Even if you do everything right, you can still lose. Which is the counterpoint. You can do nothing wrong and still end up dead. Or broke. Or ruined in a million ways. Even if you do everything right, nothing wrong. Okay. Alright, so we're 25 minutes into our workout. I've had my philosophy for the evening. We're just about to move on to our seated shoulder press. By the way, my chest is feeling great. Take that all the way out. Got some loose screws in the bench and in my head. There we go. I feel like these being loose may be causing the bench to wobble around a little bit, which may actually be causing some of that back pain as I try and compensate for the shift. You never know. Any excuse, right? Okay, brief break and just use the washroom. I'll be right back. Alright, with apologies, that was a bit of a long break. Of course, the clock always stops. Still at 26 minutes on the workout, even though it's been a little bit longer now. But, you know, biological realities are what they are. So again, we'll be doing our shoulder press now. And what are we doing? That's going to be, allegedly, actually, I think 35 on that. They're calling for 35, and I'm immediately saying that's probably not going to happen. Just no. So I'm going to try for 20. We'll see how that goes, and if it goes too easily, I'll do 25. This seems like a betrayal of the original concept, which is doing that 1 RM calculation, but I think the best way to put it is there's no age modifier on that. So I'm taking it a little bit easier just because, well, my ass is fucking aging. Alright, let's get started. If I start feeling it, then good, I'm at the right weight. That's all I gotta say. Note to self, water my plants. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, that's actually really good. Definitely feeling it, and my back isn't caving in, so let's start there too. Okay, so I think we'll continue with that. 30 seconds, we'll get started again. All right, cool. Look, I'm working on it, okay? Just gotta breathe for a little bit. Oh, okay. Sorry, the music I'm listening to is hitting real good. I'll show you what it is if you want. Let's see here. So, Tim, that's T-E-M, can do anything in one word, and it's We Shoppin'! Exclamation point. Really good. It's like the We Shopping channel, just remixed. Okay, one last set of these. 20 is the right decision on these, by the way. Feeling that pretty good. One other thing about Apple, just to kind of be ADHD and circle back on that. The watch is a very good experience. It's not trying to be all things, but what it does in a very fluid and connected way. And the battery life is really great. So without any hesitation, any hitches, I can open just about anything on the watch, and it feels like it's just cached up for it, like it's ready to go. Like when I just pulled up the music that was playing, no problem. Any hitches just went away, and I can open anything on the watch, and it's like that. It never gets burdened down. It's very efficient. When I do the same thing on my Galaxy Watch 6, which I think may be the same year as the Ultra One, which is what I'm wearing now, it's got so much stutter and latency that it doesn't feel like a connected experience. What can I say, man? Like, look. I'm almost wanting to put up the iPhone for the watch. Shitty email. The weird fidgety UI. That should be simple, but thanks again to the latest OSs is terrible. Putting up with it for the watch, maybe. Okay. So, 31 minutes in. We're going to start our flies now. And I believe, yeah, we're going to want 15 for these, and that's fine. We can do that. We've got the incline, flat, and declines. We're going to have 31 minutes into our workout, so we're making really good time today. I think that not pausing unless absolutely necessary as far as recording is concerned helps a lot with keeping the pace. Because if I can just pause in between every exercise, I can walk around for 5 or 10 minutes and be lazy. Whereas if I'm smart enough just to keep the camera rolling, I have no choice but to continue to work out on a reasonable pace. So the video doesn't have to be edited and it doesn't have to be cut down in post. I can just suck it into the editor, export it as a lower bitrate file, and then send it. Okay. Also think losing the mostly extraneous fifth set is probably a good idea too, and it's also slowed things down or sped things up. 30 seconds. We'll continue with our next set. I guess also one of the things that keeps me out of the dating pool is just a crippling sense of inadequacy for the most part, which is totally irrational because look, I know I'm relatively attractive, at least compared to some. I mean, I'm not a Casanova, but I look okay. My life is mostly together, but I feel like an imposter in everything that I do, which really sucks. So the only way I can really successfully date is to be constantly trying to be something that I may not be, or covering for my own inadequacy with flashy dress or cars or things like that, such that I don't actually have to work on my personality, not that I have one, but it really does make you think. It's also nice to talk it out. All right, there we go. Starting to get a little bit of pain on these, so I'm gonna just knock down to 10. Which is the lowest these will go, and it's almost just ceremonial to be doing them, but I'm going to do them anyway. I think it's really just the angle of attack. It's hard to describe, but if you're at all anatomically astute, you know what's going on with my back and my shoulders as I do this exercise. Luckily, it still does kind of work at 10 actually, now that I think about it, and I think it's the length of the arms that make the difference. All right. Okay. 30 seconds, we'll do the last set of those, and we'll move to the flats at 15. If 15 doesn't work, we'll do 10 consecutive this time. Anything left? Just a little bit. Okay. Heart rate is 100, and we are 36 minutes in. Alright, so the track right now is Glowing by Luxury Elite. I would suggest checking that out. Quite cool. Alright. So back to 15s because it's a little bit more controllable on the flats. I'll see how that works. If I just go slow, I should be okay. If anybody has any comments on whether or not I even should be doing flies on an incline or a decline, give me an excuse not to do them, and I'll be happy to not do them. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Very good. That feels really good. Alright, so we'll go 30 seconds and then we'll go ahead and catch the next run. Tomorrow is arms and back again, I believe, so we'll be doing that. Arms and shoulders. Just going to fill a bit of conversational dead space here. Yeah, full set of arms and skull crushers and all that stuff. And then Wednesday, unless I get lazy or otherwise called away, it's going to be legs, which I've done a little bit, but that's okay. My legs have been sore anyway. Big old bear hug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. All right. Is that the second or the third set? Not sure. I think it was the third. Okay, we'll do one more anyway. Gonna get some water. Working up a bit of a sweat. Heart rate is 101. Current time is 40 minutes. Next up, the shipping forecast. All right. 1, 2, 3. You know what the greatest sin in the world is? Having a coffee shop that's only open 8:30 to 4:30 on weekdays. Who's your fucking clientele? So I was thinking, you know, after I finish my workouts, I'd like to go somewhere and sit and listen to music or write or read that isn't home having third place. And I'm having trouble thinking of one that would be comfortable. Gotta be honest. Alright, so we're going to move on to our declines now, and as with the inclines, I'm going to stick to 10s, I think, for these. Let me update my database. Alright, so... where am I? 15, 10, 10. Control S, because Windows. Here we go. Okay, so we're doing really good. I'm just going to have a little bit of water and then I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with the next set of sets. As another added thing, I thought I'd be burnt out by now, but I'm not. I'm actually really enjoying this routine. Hopefully the universe doesn't conspire to take it away from me for some reason. Perhaps work related or otherwise. I'm not sure. there's no foreshadowing there. Okay. Fart. I don't feel like getting up, so we're just going to sit here for 30 seconds. All the blood's going to rush to my head, which is fine. I need it. Shoulder pain on the right. All right, 43 minutes in, heart rate has dropped to 90. So maybe this isn't very effective as an aerobic workout, cardio, or what have you, but it seems to be working for the feel. My tits are barking. All right, get that stretch on. Oh, there we go. Okay, much better. All right, last set, and then we're done in under 46 or 47 minutes, which is great. Plus the outro, which I'll record, or the intro, which I'll record after this. 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. All right, so that's good. Let's go ahead and flatten this out so the cat has some place to sleep later. And then we're going to call it good. So we got 45 minutes, 26 seconds, heart rate 97. Total calories burned were 282, give or take. I don't know how much I trust that. My gloves are getting new holes. That's a good sign. And that'll be it. Thank you.